What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, my goodness, besides the whole game, Battlefield 6 being leaked out over on Reddit, which I was actually deciding on, making a video about that. Besides that point, even EA DICE is coming out and giving us outstanding posts, ladies and gentlemen. Communication that we have been begging for ages. And honestly, I can't lie, this development team has started off with pretty solid communication after 2042. But part of me always thought that it was it was only because 2042 was so rough and nobody had a good time, so they had to be friendly with their community in order to get them to come back and play it a little bit, so on and so forth. But it seems this communication is further transferring on to the next title as well, and they're really keeping us in the loop, and I am very excited to share with you guys with what they have to say about the overall destruction model within the brand new Battlefield game. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, before we go and dive deep, if you guys are interested in more content just like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. I post daily here at 8 morning Eastern Time. And of course, if you guys are interested in my live streams, I stream Monday through Saturday over on Twitch, starting between 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Of course, if you guys are interested, I'll link that channel down in the description of this video. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before we go ahead and begin, if you guys are curious about this overall blog post here put out by EA DICE, by all means, I'll leave a link to that down in the description of this video. Of course, if you guys want to read it over with your own eyes. But of course, I'm going to be here to kind of summarize it for you guys. First and foremost, the destruction in this game is going to be very intriguing because not only are you going to be able to obviously take rockets, tanks, and kind of, do the first initial explosions or destruction on a lot of these platforms, buildings, whatever you want to do. But at the same time, your bullets are going to be able to damage walls and damage surfaces, allowing you to destroy bits and pieces of cover with your actual gun itself. Now, I don't think this is going to be able to happen if you are just trying to shoot a building alone that hasn't been destroyed. I think this is after, the initial destruction begins to happen. So if a tank shoots the side of a building, maybe pieces on the inside can start to be kind of plucked away by an assault rifle or even an LMG. And I'm curious, honestly, in the future, if this is going to also be revolved around the caliber that you're going to be using in your gun. Beefier guns will be able to take out beefier walls, or is it going to be basically equal across the board with all the weapons? I'm very curious to see how that's going to be handled. And also on top of that, guys, don't forget there's going to be a sledgehammer in this game as well, allowing you to make multiple different flank paths. So like I said, I'm very excited to see how the destruction in this game is going to be. And they also made it very clear that there is going to be kind of an audio cue. So if your gun is hurting the surface that you're shooting at or if it's doing absolutely nothing. So people aren't going to be confused and, not people with AR sitting there shooting at a building thinking, oh, I'm going to be able to easily destroy this. There's going to be some type of sounds, I am assuming, that will, obviously tell you if you are doing any impactful damage towards this surface, or if you're being absolutely useless and maybe you should stop and focus your fire on something different, which is going to be, once again, massive as well, and hopefully a nice introduction on how people are going to be able to get into the new destruction. And last but not least, in this little section, they also mentioned how it's going to be a core to a lot of the buildings. They describe it as an apple core. So as all of us are messing up the map and tearing through different pieces of cover and, buildings, so on and so forth, a lot of these buildings are going to have a core to them, which is something that I've been hoping for. I know a lot of people want to level all the maps, but I think this is very crucial because it allows cover to be there still for infantry players and allows them to still be able to maneuver, work around the map, and still play without getting absolutely dominated by snipers and tanks because they can't go anywhere besides in wide open fields. So I'm happy that they're keeping to the apple core, and honestly, this new level of destruction is just sounding absolutely awesome. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, is something that honestly I am extremely intrigued with. They showcased to us a little bit of footage of, the destruction in the game here, and I think this is what we actually saw in the little snippet. Remember they showed us a little teaser and it showed the guy looking up at the building and shooting it with a rocket. I think this further showcases what is happening here because, again, a lot of people thought, oh, maybe it's just tearing down the side of the building and that's it. You know what I'm saying? Just a little, like something to make it look cool, but it's actually going to serve no purpose. Let me tell you guys something. We were wrong. It serves a massive purpose. Again, as you can see in the footage here, they describe this as basically a completely different, route to be able to take. Typically in other Battlefield games, a lot of these buildings are going to be solid lines, right? You're not going to be able to push through them. Yeah, you can destroy the outside and make them look like they've been damaged and stuff like that. But 9 times out of 10, you're going to have to circle the block or run around the buildings to get to where you need to go. Not in the brand new Battlefield game, ladies and gentlemen. In this game, I don't know if it's going to be all surfaces, but a lot of these areas are going to have, lines and rows of buildings that can get absolutely obliterated. I mean, you can, like I said, you can find and take an alternative route. Instead of having to run around the block, you could say, screw it, I'm going through the building. Shoot a hole in it, run through the interior, make it out on the other side. And again, they did state that you got to be cautious doing this because once you do this, obviously, opponents can take advantage of this route as well. But who the frick cares, right, ladies and gentlemen? This is just what we've all been talking about. This is the destruction that we've been craving, to actually have the whole map be our open sandbox, for us to be able to do what we want, explore how we want, navigate how we want. I mean, this is just mind-boggling. This right here is taking destruction to the next level, and it's making me think, I think all of us are really thinking, what the heck happened with 2042? I genuinely think that this was just a game put together to allow new developers to get their bearings on the Frostbite engine, because it just makes no sense. Where was this, They showcased this a while ago. You remember when they were showing like the World War II kind of themes on the, the monitors and showing the destructions of the buildings and all that stuff, saying that they're, upping the destruction game and they're trying to improve it. But it never got implemented into 2042, but here it is. It's finally here, and it looks really good. Again, I might be kind of ahead of myself here and getting a little too excited, but as I said before, I've been waiting for destruction like this for ages. I think that we could all just agree that hopefully it's not going to be over the top where one player can shoot one rocket and the whole building crumbles down. You know what I'm saying? It should be portioned enough. And the best part about it is that in this post, they did state that they're going to be continuously taking feedback, because again, that's what this upcoming test is going to be about, mostly destruction. They're taking feedback, and hopefully the players playing these play tests will be able to kind of point them in the right direction, find the perfect in-between on how much destruction one individual can actually do to any type of platform. Because yeah, it is cool to be able to put a rocket into a building and watch it all crumble, but we don't want that to happen the second the game starts and one guy puts a rocket in and now it's like, this route's here permanently. It should take, 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe up to 10, people or tries to completely level something out. And again, in their terms, go down to the apple core of the building, or of course have the assistance of a tank, blasting it multiple times. But hopefully, like I said, it's not just one person just obliterating a whole structure with a singular rocket, right? But regardless, I don't care. This looks so outstanding. And ladies and gentlemen, of course, there's some more stuff being written out here, but I just wanted to highlight the, the prime stuff of this overall post, and they did leave off on a pretty good note by saying that the performance has been actually improving quite significantly, to the point where when it comes to this playtest, they're going to start increasing the amount by a lot. So of course, if you guys did sign up for the playtest, keep your eyes peeled on your email account, whichever email account that you connected through, and make sure, again, if they send you any information, don't go plastering it online. If you get invited, just keep it to yourself. Mind your business and just go test it out. And like I said, give good, criticism, good feedback, and, try to help them craft a good experience. But it's nice to hear that even with these destruction levels, the, obviously the performance is still pretty solid. That's good to hear. Again, I don't know if I completely believe it until it opens up to a larger scale and we go into beta and we have a bunch of all these consoles playing the game and PC playing the game, millions of people logging in, everybody messing around with stuff. When that happens, I think we'll truly see if the servers are going to be in a good spot, or not even just the servers, just the overall performance, the optimization of this game. But until then, I guess we just got to kind of go with their words that it's doing fine. But that right there was one of my biggest concerns when it comes to the brand new Battlefield game, especially when it comes to destruction. Destruction will definitely wear things down. I mean, the finals took a while to optimize everything. The finals has ridiculous destruction, and it took a minute. And even still, to this very current date, I still hear people saying that it's kind of hard to run if you don't have a top-end rig and stuff like that. And, it gives you some moments that are a bit rough with everything that's going on. So, destruction is a big deal when it comes to these games. It could easily make things not run properly whatsoever. But to hear that they're pointing in the right direction is very good news to me. But ladies and gentlemen, please go down in the comment section and let me know what you guys think about all this information here, and also about the footage that you guys saw earlier with the initial destruction. Do you guys like this? Do you think it's a bit too much? Do you think they should tone it down a bit? Again, that's what this channel is all about, and that's what these tests are all about. Getting the community's ideas and personal preferences on how all of this is being handled. And I would love to know what you guys think about destruction in this game, and where you think they should be pointing towards when it comes to the final build of the destruction within, I guess we could call it Battlefield 6, whatever the name of the next Battlefield game is going to be. But as always, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed today's video, leave a like. If you hate it, leave a dislike. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. I post daily here at 8 morning Eastern Time. And of course, if you guys are interested in any of my live streams, I stream Monday through Saturday over on Twitch, starting between 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Of course, if you guys are interested, got a link to that channel down in the description of this video. But as always, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.